JBNN keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones, and in the news, 21 cell phones and knives among items found during Ochi lockup search. A search of the cell block at the Ochi West Police Station by members of the Caribbean Search Center resulted in the seizure of some 21 cell phones among other contrabands on Monday. Reports are that about 11 a.m., the search, led by the Caribbean Search Center, was carried out at the cell block which housed male prisoners. About half pound of ganja, 2 SIM cards, 21 cell phones, 1 dismantled cell phone, 16 phone chargers, 11 USB cables, 41 lighters, some knives and scissors, among other contrabands, were found and seized. Following the search, the prisoners reportedly lit fires on both sides of the cell block. They also began to hurl missiles and urine at the police. The fires were quickly put out by the law enforcers. Man killed after alleged confrontation with police in Westmoreland. A man was shot and killed in an alleged confrontation with the police and a gun seized in Westmoreland on Thursday. The deceased has been identified as Peter Tomlinson, who was of a Newmarket Oval, Savlamar, Westmoreland address. Reports are that about 12:45 p.m., police received a report that there was a man in the Red Road area of the Little London community walking with a gun in his possession. The cops reportedly responded and saw a man fitting the description of the subject of the report. Reports are that on the approach of the police, the man ran and was chased. During the chase, he allegedly shot at the police, who took evasive action and returned the fire. The man sustained gunshot wounds and was taken to hospital, where he was pronounced dead. A Glock 9mm pistol was reportedly recovered from the deceased man's body. His death comes just days after the police reassured citizens and business owners in Little London and Negril that they were ramping up assets in the space following a spate of robberies and murders. It's only a matter of time before we crush this latest surge, which is being committed by greedy, reckless terrorists who are hell-bent on creating mayhem. I want to assure the residents and citizens of Westmoreland that we will not rest until this is accomplished, said Deputy Superintendent of Police in charge of operations in the Westmoreland Police Division, Adrian Hamilton, last week. It is part of the intensified operational activities in the Negril and the Little London space, DSP Hamilton said last evening. The Independent Commission of Investigations has reportedly launched an investigation into the matter. Ex-cop turned cabbie gunned down in Kingston. A taxi operator was shot and killed in the Kingston Eastern Police Division on Thursday evening. He has been identified as Kenil Wilson, an ex-member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force of a St. Catherine address. Information received is that sometime after 7 p.m., Wilson was standing beside his motor car on Kensington Road when 2 armed men walked up to him and engaged in a brief conversation before shooting him. His licensed firearm was also stolen. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Investigations are ongoing. Bike taxi operator killed in Westmoreland gun attack. A bike taxi operator was shot and killed and another injured at Pullet Lane, Petersfield in Westmoreland on Thursday night. The deceased has been identified as 25-year-old Rico Torrington of Shrewsbury in Petersfield in the parish. Reports from the police are that about 9 p.m., Torrington and another man were traveling on a motorcycle when upon reaching a section of the roadway, they were pounced upon by unknown assailants who opened gunfire at them. Torrington sustained gunshot wounds to the upper body and the other man was shot in the shoulder. Both men were taken to the hospital, where Torrington was pronounced dead and the other man admitted in stable condition. Torrington is the second person to be killed in the parish in hours. On Thursday morning, residents stumbled upon the body of 33-year-old Dwayne Williams, otherwise called Monkey Man, of Pullet Lane in the community. According to the police, Williams was last seen about 10:15 p.m. on Wednesday night. Reports from the police are that Williams had multiple stab and chop wounds to the upper body. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Policeman killed in vehicular crash in St. Catherine. A vehicular accident in the Bogwalk Gorge in the vicinity of Kent Village, St. Catherine on Thursday has resulted in the death of a policeman and the injury of another. The deceased policeman has been identified as Constable Davon Cooper. It is reported that about 2:20 p.m., Cooper was a passenger in a Subaru motor car driven by a colleague when he collided with a sport utility vehicle. Both vehicles were extensively damaged. The injured parties were taken to the Linstead Hospital, where Cooper succumbed to his injuries. The St. Catherine North Traffic Department has launched an investigation into the matter. Cabby arrested on outstanding warrants after visiting police station to make report. A 28-year-old taxi operator who visited the Negril police station in Westmoreland to make a report on Wednesday, December 6, was detained by police after it was discovered that he was on the station's warrant list. According to Deputy Superintendent of Police, DSP Sean J. Mitchell, the man identified as Damian Simpson of Whitehall, Negril in the parish, had over 20 outstanding warrants.
So, a taxi operator visited the Negril police station on Wednesday, December 6th to make a report. However, while making that report, an officer who was quite familiar with the station's warrant list discovered that the same person was on the warrant list with several outstanding warrants. He has since been identified as 28-year-old Damian Simpson of Whitehall in Negril, Westmoreland. While making the report, the officer made checks on the warrant list and realized that he had 28 outstanding warrants, all of which were executed on him. Further check revealed that he had 53 outstanding warrants in Hanover and an additional 6 in St. James. So on Thursday, December 7, he was taken to the Westmoreland Parish Court where he pleaded guilty and was fined $130,000. As it relates to the other outstanding warrants, he will be charged. Those warrants will be executed on him in those parishes where he will face another court to settle those outstanding warrants.
21-year-old man gets life sentence for 2 murders and multiple felonies. A 21-year-old man who killed a man and a woman and wounded 2 others in separate shooting incidents between last December and July this year was yesterday afternoon sentenced to life in prison with the order that he serves 23 years and 6 months in prison before the possibility of parole. DeAndre Grant, a construction worker of Belfield District, Manchester, and Canaanites in Maypen, Clarendon, pleaded guilty earlier last month on an indictment with 13 counts under a plea deal. The charges consist of 2 counts of murder, 2 counts of wounding with intent, 6 counts of making use of a firearm to commit a felony, and 3 counts of assault with intent to rob. Justice Leighton Pusey, in handing down the sentence, accepted the sentence recommendations of the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, but credited Grant for the 6 months he spent in custody. Grant was given 2 life sentences for the murder of 21-year-old Sunil Mushet and Catherine Matthews. The judge, however, ordered that he serve 20 years and 6 months for Matthews' murder, but granted the DPP's recommended parole period of 24 years in respect of the other murder. Justice Pusey said the sentence was reasonable given that Grant went on a rampage after the first murder. Consequently, he was ordered to serve 23 years and 6 months before being considered for parole. Grant was further sentenced to 20 years each for 6 counts of gun charges, 15 years each for the wounding charges, and 10 years for the assault with intent to rob charges. The judge, however, ordered that the sentences are to run concurrently. Hence, Grant will serve these sentences while serving the life sentence. Justice Pusey, during the sentencing, remarked that these serious offences were more notable because of the young age of the perpetrator, and further that the circumstances of the woman's murder was particularly worrying given that no motive was stated for the attack. The judge, however, noted that among the factors considered in arriving at the sentences were Grant's guilty plea, his fairly young age, the social inquiry report, and the submissions of both the DPP and Grant's lawyer, Paul Gentles. In the first murder incident, Grant and his accomplices shot and killed 21-year-old Sunil Mushet, otherwise called Shine, a construction worker of Comfort District, Manchester, on December 8, 2022, about 4 p.m. Mushet was murdered along the Kendall Bridge in the parish. In the second murder incident, which occurred on March 3 this year, Catherine Matthews, a chef of New Green District, Manchester, and her common-law husband were walking home in their community when Grant and others pounced upon them. The hoodlums opened gunfire on the couple, hitting them multiple times before escaping into the area. The injured persons were transported to hospital, where Matthews was pronounced dead and her spouse treated. Grant struck again at a plaza in Mandeville on March 6, where 2 security guards were attacked by 3 men, one of whom was armed with a handgun. The attackers then restrained one of the 2 guards and demanded money. The demands were not met and a tussle ensued. However, the perpetrators fled after a gun went off. Grant's last victim, a mini-mart and bar operator, was shot and injured on July 20 at 12:45 a.m. after hosting an event. Following this series of incidents, Grant was arrested on August 2 in Westmoreland in relation to a separate incident. It was later handed over to the Manchester police and charges laid against him on October 4. SOEs declared in 5 parishes and St. Andrew South. States of public emergency, SOEs, are now in effect across 5 parishes and a police division in the corporate area, the Office of the Prime Minister announced on Friday. The parishes are St. James, Hanover, Westmoreland, St. Catherine and Clarendon, while the St. Andrew South Police Division is also under the emergency measure. Acting on the advice and recommendations of the Police Commissioner and the Chief of Defence Staff, Governor General Sir Patrick Allen declared the SOEs in these areas due to high criminal activity, the statement read. The Security Chief advised that over the period of January 1 to December 5, 2023, the St. Andrew South Police Division produced the second highest number of murders across all police divisions, with a total of 113 murders. Meanwhile, the St. Catherine North Police Division produced the 4th highest number of murders among all police divisions at 109 murders. The Clarendon and St. Catherine South Police Divisions recorded the 5th and 6th highest number of murders for the period with 194 murders respectively. The Clarendon Police Division also had the 4th highest increase in murders at 10% when compared to the equivalent period in 2022. For the western parishes, St. James continued to have the highest number of murders across all police divisions, with a total of 173 murders. Additionally, Westmoreland took the 3rd highest number of murders with 110 murders. Finally, Hanover had 67 murders for the same period and was the police division with the highest increase in murders at 52.3% when compared with the same period in 2022. In terms of homicide, in relation to population, homicide per 100,000 population, St. James, Westmoreland and Hanover have reflected 103.3, 93.4 and 60.7 murders per 100,000 respectively at the end of 2022, the release added. It also went on to say that since the start of 2023, murders per 100,000 inhabitants of St. James, Westmoreland and Hanover stood at 90.2, 73.4 and 92.4 respectively. This is significantly higher than the regional average rate of 15.1 per 100,000 and the world average rate of 6.1 per 100,000, the release said. JBNN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.